order to proceed. Okay, so I think you did that. Because there's only 6 of us, also, and I'm gonna do this too, because there's just 6 of us, I'm gonna leave the mics open. In the social media class, there were 13, and it got really noisy. So just be aware of if there's noise behind you or around you, just go ahead and mute yourself. But I think with just us here, I think it's okay to leave it open. Before I get started, do you guys have any questions or concerns?
Not really.
Okay. So just kind of I know that we all checked in with each other on this platform, on this Google Meet. What will happen is the recording I'll save the recording, and then it does take some time to process, as you know from QUTV. It'll take a little bit of time. I have to upload it to YouTube and then put the link to YouTube on Moodle. So I will do that, but it's not going to be immediate. Again, let's turn on the closed captioning, just in case you have to mute or in case you lose my audio so that you can hear that. And there is also this chat function in case you have a question, in order to, if you want to ask something of the group or ask something that I'm not talking about or interrupt me. So let's see. What I want to do is, and bear with me, bear with everyone, because this is, quite a learning situation. So I want to talk about this. Share. Can you see? Can you see this? There it is. Okay. Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I just lost it. There. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. All right. Probably a better way to do this. Let me see if we start here. You guys can see that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So this is pretty short, but why won't it go to the next one? Well, we're all learning this. Now I can't advance. I'm going to try this again. Present, window, this, share. Okay. So I know we kind of talked about this stuff when we all checked in on the tech check, but I just want to reiterate, and I want to make sure you guys are all on the same page. We don't know what we don't know, right? Do you have what you need? How will I do this alone? Will technology always work? You do have what you need if you have a phone, okay? Obviously, you're not alone because we're going to figure this out and we're going to get work accomplished. Technology will not always work. And you guys know that better than any other class, right? I mean, SD cards and all that good stuff and JVCs and craziness. And now we're supposed to transition all that to so obviously we are not now in the game of the rubric that I used to grade either the shows or your packages. That is not applicable anymore. It simply can't be. But we can adjust and we can do things differently and change the expectation and change some of the ways that we do things. In fact, a webinar style like this, if we recorded this and sent it out as a story, that would be perfectly fine. I mean, the content here isn't worthy of that. But if you do an interview with someone and you do it over Google Meet, that clip, that's a story, right? That's very simple. So there are things that we can still do to get content and create content. And you can do this how you want to do this. Okay, so I'm going to be very, very flexible. So in the old days, it would be, interview 3 people, do a stand up, make sure it looks like this, make sure check all these boxes. So obviously now we adapt, and that's different, and that has changed. What hasn't changed is the need of information from your audience. And you are your own audience, right? Your audience is your peers. So I'll get to that in a second. So you can do this how you want to do this and be creative. I think back to Abby when you were doing live hits for the Park District. It didn't look like traditional television. It wasn't a package, but it certainly got information out, right? So that's what we're after now. There will be deadlines still because the nature of the content of this class is so very timely. I had a hard time when all this started and you guys were on spring break, and I read back over the first email I sent, and it was a little like, still do your work, right? But my intent, what I saw things happening in front of you, and I just didn't want you to be like, oh, well, yeah, well, I saw, all this stuff going on at the airport, but I didn't think to take a picture. So that's what I was trying to do. And we got a couple of different things in and some different levels of content. So that to say, we have deadlines because this will time out, right? Your information will be too old to share. Like in the social media class this morning, there really aren't deadlines anymore because I'm just going to open everything up, and when you get it done, you get it done. And that's how classes can continue, or at least the ones that I have an influence over. But we're different. This class is different because if you do an interview now with, let's say, Chloe, and she's doing her work in, her dorm room, tomorrow she's leaving for Australia. So the information, the timeliness is going to be different. So unfortunately, we will still have deadlines, but it's going to look different. The rules will look different. The rubrics will look different. The grading will look different. All of that stuff is going to look different. The best thing, you guys are the best thing about the program right now because you are the most trained. You are in the highest level of the class. You know what to do. There's really not anything more I can teach you. There's a lot more, but in this profession anyway, the learning keeps going. I can't tell you how many webinars there are of journalists getting together and redoing everything and all that. So the nice thing is you all have the basics and you know how to do this. Now we just need a strategy of how to do it. Some fun things that I think are really cool is Pointer. I think you've heard me talk about that. We probably engaged with some of their content. Pointer has opened up all of its classes for free. That's incredible. These things cost $800, $400, $1,200, depending. So there's some really cool webinar-ish type stuff we can do there. The Smart Film School, this is in Europe. It's based in Europe. And these classes are $1,000 to take a class. They are free until like the end of May. So we're going to poke in. There's one in the Smart Film School that is, how to do journalism on a smartphone. And then a Facebook training, how to report on Facebook. They have offered, I just need to schedule it, but they've offered a Facebook training. I'm probably going to do it on a Tuesday or Thursday and involve the Com 330 course as well. So wait, that one might be an odd time, but we all have time, right? So we have some really, really awesome, cool things to jump into. And Alexa, especially to you, this is still stuff that you're going to use in public relations, or any of you, Reggie, Taylor, Shane, Abby, if you're transitioning to doing something else, this is still good content creation stuff. Even if we do the Facebook training, it says how to report on Facebook. It's just a small tweak to get it to be a public relations content rather than that. So obviously, I'm plugged into the journalism side of it, but we can use this and amend it. And once you know this stuff, you can use it in so incredibly many different ways. So that's good. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, where did we leave off? Oh my gosh, you guys, remember we had so many plans. We had such a good strategy for the census, which is, I'm actually really surprised that they haven't delayed, they delayed taxes from April 15th to July 15th, but the census, I haven't seen anything unless you have. The census is still April 1st. Where did we leave off? What do you have? What can you still do? Okay, Reggie and Taylor, I looked at this on the whiteboard. Well, actually a picture of it before I left. And Reggie, yours was like how QU and John Wood were communicating. That's not a thing. That didn't happen. So did your family get a census form at home in the mail?
Say it again.
Did your family get a census form at home in the mail?
I did, yes.
Did you guys already do it and throw it away?
We still have the paper, but I do remember my mom doing it like immediately as soon as she got the paper.
Okay. Well, I was thinking that your story could be, this is my family, we're at the kitchen table, here's how you fill out the census. It could still be just
Okay.
Here at home, how do you do that kind of thing? That could still be valid. And then Taylor, I just kind of threw this. I don't know if there's going to be any press releases, or how is the coronavirus affecting people who are supposed to, get counted for the census.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to just wait on press releases and see how that goes. But Alexa, Shane, Abby, what do you have? What do you think you can do with it?
I don't have anything yet, but I can obviously email registrar and get as much information as I can from them.
Okay. So Alexa, you have nothing on video.
Correct.
Okay. So you can still do yours online. You can still do it on WordPress, right? Shane, do you have a kind of a full video story?
I mean, I don't have any way of,
just what do you have? Not what do you do with it yet, but what do you have and where is it?
I mean, I shot a whole bunch of B-roll on that one interview. It should be in one of an X drive or something somewhere. I don't know.
Okay.
I think.
Do you remember downloading it from your SD card?
Yeah.
I mean, it's somewhere besides my SD card, but yeah.
Oh, it might be in like an X drive folder that we did for the census, maybe.
Yeah.
I remember we were looking at it because we transcribed Bevelheimer's interview, correct?
Yeah. Okay.
So in theory, not worrying yet about how we get to it, but in theory, you have an interview and B-roll on tape. Okay. Abby, what do you have?
For the census?
Yeah.
So I was about to, or I actually had a scheduled interview with Dr. Coffey before everything went down. And so that never actually happened, but I got a phone interview with Representative LaHood. And so I got that recorded and that is on my file. So I don't know exactly what to do with that, but
Okay.
yeah, I have it. So if things change and we do go to classes in person, then I could end up using it.
Okay, so put a pin in that for just a second. I will be really surprised if we go back.
Which
That's-
is, yeah.
That's just my opinion. I have no meeting or no phone call or no email that says anything, but everyone else is off for the rest of the semester. And I do think that they're deciding this week.
Yeah, I talked to Dr. McGee yesterday, and he said that they're having their meeting today or tomorrow morning or something. So we'll know by like tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening.
Okay. Okay. So I am assuming that we are done for the semester. If we're not, if we're going back, I will be very surprised, and that's obviously a huge story. So Abby, I'm sorry, you've got coffee. No, what do you have actually on video?
I have a phone call with Representative LaHood.
Okay, so you have audio. Good.
I
Okay.
have audio, yeah. I don't have video. I had planned twice with Dr. Coffee to do it, but by the time we had planned it, it was already like they already called for like no classes, and
Gotcha.
I don't know how safe that would be considering his, I don't know his health. I don't want to bring something back to him, so.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the good news is you have content, right? And if it is somewhere on campus in your X drive, I can get to it. It's going to be a day or two. I can either get in and sneak out to North Campus and download it and get it to us, or Blaine Hill IT was saying that he thinks he can get me to the X drive. So I'm going to try that. Bottom line is you have enough content to write a web story, right? Which is, that's really where we're going to have to live for most of this. Although I want to brainstorm a little bit on something else. So keep doing your census stories. If you can, Reggie, it would be really cool to just have a video of, your family looking at the paper or filling it out. Taylor, I think that, you're because you're on campus, you might have a different strategy there. And especially, I'm wondering if Dr. McGee would do, an interview with you via Google Meet or something like that. So
yeah, I talked to him yesterday. I said, we have like our class or whatever today, what we're doing right now. And he was like, whatever you guys need, just let me know. But like, he's like, for my own health, probably would be over like the computer and stuff like that. So I was like, hey, that's fine, like anything. But he's like, yeah, just shoot me an email and let me know.
absolutely. So then kind of back to that, Abby, you could do a Google Meet with Dr. Coffee. This is kind of the brave new world of, we still need the content. We still want the content, and how we get it is just different. It's just going to be doing this. It's what we're doing this. Some things with that. The only thing that I cannot figure out quite yet, but we'll work on it, is I don't know if once you record a Google Meet, if you can edit it. It does come in an MP4 file, so I would think you would be able to. I'm not sure. But again, kind of hold off on that. So the advice is, if you're doing a Google Meet, let's just say you say, hey, Dr. Coffee, can I ask you 4 questions? Welcome to the Google Meet here. I'm Abby Moore with Dr. Coffee. I just have a few questions for you, and then ask the questions, have him answer. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. End recording, and there's your clip. It's like a look live. It's like a QUTV show. So it's all about the preparation prior to turning on the Google Meet and hitting record on it, right? That alone, we upload it to our YouTube page. We put it on Facebook. That's QUTV reporting and anchoring for the rest of the semester. So in some ways, this is a little bit easier because you can now access anyone you need to access, right? Like, you don't have to go grab a camera and you don't have to go get someone's office hours. It's like, hey, I can still do my work. I can still report, but it's just, you're just going to be on your computer. And that's okay. And that's great. Okay. So keep going on the census stories. Now, why does it do this? It won't let me advance without backing out of this. See, this is a learning curve and we got to figure out why this is locking up. It might just be that it's locking up. So if I stop presenting and then I present again in a window, share, then it lets me. I just think things lock up. Okay. So before we get to the technology, because you guys are all going, we don't have Premiere Pro. What are you talking about? I know. Hold on. So ideas for coronavirus stories, obviously, you know, using Google Meet or FaceTime or whatever you are using, whatever you're comfortable with. Smartphones to record audio and video. Okay. So using Premiere Pro or editing in your camera or smaller clips. Here's my question. So it's my understanding that Adobe is offering all of its products free to students through May 31st. Did you guys receive any kind of email from IT about that?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. The other flip side of it is, if your computer that you have and your system that you have doesn't work with it, it does take a little bit of processing power, then it's just, you just have to edit in the camera. You just have to start and stop in your camera, knowing that you might not be able to edit. There are umpteen in-phone editing programs. They're all different. They all do different things. Explore what your phone can do. And I'm thinking maybe this smartphone course that's free will kind of help us do that. But since we haven't done that, I'm not going to worry too much about that. The only other thing is smaller clips are easier to email or upload to yourself. So if you try to stay within 30 seconds or less, if you're, you know, you're doing something and you're like, okay, 30, click another one, 30, click. They should email them, easier to email. But if not, this is your SD card. And you just have to plug in and then download your clips onto your computer, right? But just know, the shorter the clips, it's just easier to work with, which you guys have probably figured out in the JVCs and on your SD cards anyway, right? Okay, here's why you're so important. There's so many communication silos. You guys are getting an email, faculty is getting an email, seniors are getting an email, no one is getting an email. The questions that you have are the questions your audience has. And this is such an incredible opportunity to rise to the occasion and be the source and be the clearinghouse for information. If we put out a story about, hey, there's choices for graduation, and we put it out on our WordPress site, which is going to be our first point of contact, and then we take those stories and share them on social media, your audience is so hungry for this information, right? As lost or uninformed as you feel, just think, so does everyone else. That's why there's this opportunity in this vacuum of information that you guys are poised to collect and present, and you know how to do it correctly. It's just so important that you become the, okay? So what are some kind of stories, right? What do you already have, much like the census? I know Abby has video on her from her spring break. Did you take pictures of anything? You know, it's so funny because, right, hair, people, emotion, action, reaction. And I'm like, stop taking pictures of Francis Hall. Okay. Take pictures of Francis Hall. No one's in there. That's actually the picture we want now, right? Isn't that crazy? So your experiences, where you are, family stories, who's doing what, what's the new norm. If you want to do a how-to, one of the things I thought you guys would be really good at is how to look good on your class, Google Meet or Zoom, right? So look at, I mean, just look right now, okay? Like, do I put a light here? Do I put a light here? Do I, like, I have a tripod and a light. Some people are gonna have, some aren't, I know, nerd, but whatever. But how do you create this at home? Do you grab a lamp and take the shade off and then you put it over to the side? Think about things that people want to know how to do. Now I can't put it back. You know, like how to, what's in your background, or how do I position my, so it's not like I'm talking like this on my class, or I'm not talking like this on my, you know, I've seen a lot, I've seen a lot of this. Guess what? You guys know how to do this, and you're a quick how to set up your office space for maximum videography. That would be, do you know how much your audience would love that? That'd be great. I bet we'd get a lot of shares on that.
Hey, Nora, can I say something?
Yeah.
So sorry, you mentioned something earlier, but you were talking. I didn't want to interrupt you. But so you said something about how like we should be like the source for like where people get their information from. And I think it would be really effective and even like help in the future, because like this could be a turning point for like how students look at QUTV.
That's so true.
If we let Dr. McGee know to let the students know to come to us, because I think in a few of his emails, like at the bottom, he'll say something like, if you need any more information, just contact me, or something like QU News or something. But it didn't have to do with us. It was like, if you want more information, go to this. And I think if you put, if you want more information, you should go to QUTVnews.com or QU Media, whatever. Like,
absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. I saw that too, Abby, and I was like, why isn't he sharing our stuff? But here's the thing. We don't have anything to share. Like, we can't do that until we are reliable, until we have content, until, you know, it's like getting on QUTV and saying, for more on that, go to QUmedia.net, but there's no story there. So you only get really 1 or 2 chances to impress people. And because I am so in agreement with you. Like, if we had said go to QUTV and we had, what's an old story? You know, the Hawks won the basketball tournament, right? Everyone would be like, there's nothing here on COVID. So why are we, you know? So I think as soon as you guys and we get our process going and we have something posted every day that is important, then absolutely, I was going to suggest to him that he add us to that. Okay. The other thing too, did I put it on here? No. Oh, I just was thinking about it. So what we need to do, and there's 4 of you, 5 of you, we need to take emails and take press releases and rewrite them and put them on QU Media, right? That was COM 210 almost. So we can take anything the school releases as public information and just put it into a news and throw it up on QU Media. So we do need to start doing that for sure. And
like every update we get, because like we get like 2 a day, honestly.
Right. Now a lot of that is repetition. Some of the emails from Dr. McGee, we should parse through and just take out the new. I think how to wash your hands, I think we don't need that every day, but you know, at one point, and that would be a great video, right? Although it has been shared a lot everywhere. But that doesn't mean we can't do it. But it would be easy to set up your phone and talk about, hey, this is how I do this, or this is, you know, what we do. So how do you want to, obviously we have Slack, right? How often do you want to meet? How do you want to parse out the ideas? How do you want to go from here?
I mean, I think we could do like, I don't know, I think twice a week is fair, like how we were doing it kind of before, but like if we really put information out there, we should make sure that like everyone's doing something different and not like doing the same idea, and I don't know, but just enough to where like we can get kick-started and let people know that like we're on top of this and that this will be something that people can look back on.
Yep, perfect. So what do we, I'm going to stop sharing this, and this will be, I'll put this in Moodle if you need to. How do I get out of that? If you need to get back to that. Okay, so let's have an editorial meeting. What do you guys want to work on? Okay, first, work with your census story and get that up as soon as you can, because it's this Sunday is the deadline, which is crazy to me. But we still need to get that stuff just put away and put on the website. So you know what you're doing with that. Now, what does everyone want to do with this virus?
Well, how many stories are we putting out a week?
Yeah.
Well, I think we should do, so we do have the help of 338 and a little bit of 330. So we can post something every day.
Okay, so just have like enough content to where like something is being posted about it every day. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Here's the thing, we have enough people to do that. And so I think we need to get into someone needs to take control of McGee's emails. And, for reference, we need to have a link because he's got links on there too, to all of the past ones. But every time he sends out a new one, we need to quickly post a short synopsis of what's new information out of those. And someone needs to be on that, kind of on that watch. We really, again, questions that you have, your audience has. So, I mean, Alexa, I'm looking at you in the dorm. If we go online for the rest of the semester, what does that mean for the dorms? Right? That's a question. And Taylor, you're in the dorms too. That's what we need to know.
Mhm.
If you're at home and you don't have your books, what are you supposed to do? Right? What's the favorite class platform? Do you guys like Google Meet? Is anyone using Zoom? Who's using Facebook? How do you set up a space to participate? I don't know. Those are the things off the top of my head, but you guys probably have more questions than I do.
I was raising my hand like we're in freaking class. Anyways, so we just got.
I think you can. Wait. I think you can raise your. Oh, maybe that's Zoom. Somewhere you can raise your hand. I don't know.
So we just for all of us that are seniors, we just got our email about when they're gonna do commencement. So I already talked to 2 of my friends, and I'm just honestly, I don't know really what is the best time other than right now when we're supposed to, but obviously that's not going to happen. So I can get opinions on people, because I know they had one for August 29th and then the weekend of homecoming. And I can tell you right now, yes, it's a good thought because people will be coming back, alumni, but also at the same time, people aren't going to want to spend their Saturday afternoon at a graduation ceremony that should have happened months ago. They're going to be wanting to tailgate at the football game. So I don't know.
And then people will also be at their jobs. So
right.
How do you know that you can actually come back for that? It's just this really sucks. In all areas, it's so nice of them to do that, but
right, I get it.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Right.
You can't. I don't know.
Don't you think that? Well, who knows? And some of your reporting is just going to be asking questions because we aren't going to have the answers. But I would hope. I mean, I would think if I was running a business and August came around, or maybe even December, and if I had people on staff that were new graduates and they came to me and said, I didn't have a graduation. Say yes. The country says yes to graduations whenever, I don't know, but I know there are some essential jobs that's not going to happen.
Right. And honestly, I was thinking about, because I know for a lot of us, our families are from out of town, and I don't see my family and I'm doing it for them kind of too. because like, you know, they're a part of it. So I know that my family wouldn't necessarily come from like 10 plus hours away just for that, like later when they've already been planning this since whenever. And like now it's not happening. So
So that, you know what? Boom, there's your story. The survey went out to college students, excuse me, who don't want to graduate. They don't want to walk. They don't care. I don't want to put the gown on in general. I'm not everybody, but they should have surveyed the parents who
yeah.
pay for everything, right? So QU Media can do a non-scientific poll on Twitter or something. Do your parents want to come back for a graduation?
Because they got added. They right before spring break, we had an email saying, "Oh, would you like to add your parents to all the graduation emails that you're also getting and more?" So they should have also sent that out to them, honestly.
I don't know if they did. Maybe they did.
I don't.
So is Cassie still in charge of social media, or is that more on us now?
Oh,
You know what? She is. That's still her internship. But she's kind of more of the she's more of like the scheduler. Everyone needs to still create it, but she just needs to say, okay, thank you. And then I'm going to put that on Tuesday and I'm going to put that on Wednesday. So if someone were to do how to wash your hands, she could put that on Saturday. But if it's a poll of, do your parents want graduation? Let's put that out today. So it's us. Everyone needs to create the content. She's just kind of the manager, making sure it's on and up. And also the value that she brings too is she's monitoring it. So once you create your content for your story and you give it to her, move on to the next story. What her value is really, if we have any snark or we have any trolls, in the comments, she takes care of that. So that's kind of a nice support system to have for the content creators.
Yeah.
So
I think the poll, like, we should do if you're even going to come back, because like when the email came out today, I had someone ask me like, would you come back for graduation?
right.
And we don't know. Like, I know specifically, like Taylor and I, like, we don't know where we're going to end up because we're trying to get like out of the state, out of where we grew up. So it's like, if I end up getting a job in a couple states away, like, am I even going to want to come back at that point in my life where I'm like,
True.
in a couple months, like, what's the point now? So I'd be interested to see like how many students even think they would come back just for a ceremony.
right. So I thought it was really clever to maybe tie it to homecoming, which would be, like homecoming is something you do as an alumni. Some people do, some people don't. Yeah, so there's so much you guys can do, and your questions are your are your audience's questions. This is just from talking. I feel fine. Every time I sneeze, I feel like this. So what else? Shane, Reggie, you guys are quiet.
Oh, I was asking my dad about graduation if they canceled the commencement ceremony, and what was his thoughts on it. That was just me asking him.
And what did he say?
He said he really doesn't care. He just wants to see me walk on the stage. So,
Yeah.
I don't really know what to do with that. But I told him about the survey and what we had to fill out and the different dates.
Okay. I saw somewhere on social media, I saw a graduation, and it literally was, someone walked across the stage, picked up the diploma from the table and walked off. And then by the time they were way more than 6 feet, the next person came up. It was so sad.
I know. I keep seeing like jokes about it all over social media, and honestly, I got really upset. Like, obviously, they're not going to send our diplomas as a PDF, but like doing graduation like this or whatever. I keep, I don't want it to be like that.
Right.
I saw that
What do you
William
think?
Woods did something like that. Like, I don't know what they did. They all let like maybe 7 people in a room, and then they would like walk across this room, and then they would like all leave, and then 7 more people would come in.
Absolutely
Like, what
not.
the actual hell?
Which,
Yeah, I'm sure other schools have done it too, but I'm just like, what the?
and my comment to that is, what's magic about 7
Yeah.
or 5 or 10 or 2,
Yeah. I don't know.
right? Shane, what do you think?
I could try to get a hold of some spring athletes, see what their
Oh yeah, that too.
So I'm curious. I got to tell you guys that Marty Bell called me and asked that if we talk to athletes, we clear it through him first. Right. Which
Okay.
I said, okay. I said, do you want each individual reporter to call you or email you, or how do you want to do this? And I didn't tell you about it because technically we were on spring break and we didn't have class until right now. So I'm now telling you. But I think he was concerned with students, athletes who would say QU canceled my senior year when in fact it was the NCAA and the GLVC. So I think that might have been a message last week. I don't know if it is now, but Shane, especially as we get back into the swing of things, if you don't publish anything until I see it, and continue with what you're doing, it's fine. But there's just one little tiny wrinkle in the middle there that, you know, I just want to make sure that I think the messaging is okay now. And the truth is, between us, there was an incident on campus prior to, and had nothing to do with students. It was with the media. And so Marty was trying to kind of control the message. And you know what I feel about that. So, but I also feel like, okay, you know, I want to honor his request and yet not impede you doing your job. So just don't hit publish on anything until I see it. What else? So, okay, so it seems to me from our editorial meeting, Taylor, you want to tackle graduation?
Yeah, I can do that.
Quickly. Reggie, stick with census and how does someone in a house fill out census? Shane, get to spring sports and tell stories there. Abby, your census is fine. You know, with LaHood, did they email you a picture of him? Did you ask?
Oh, they forgot. Yep, I asked them and they did not send that, so I will ask them again.
Yeah, because we can put his audio over his picture, and that's great. What kind of COVID story do you want to do?
Oh, man, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Well, there's a lot. I think it'd be interesting to somehow do like a story on some of the businesses that are still open, and some of the students that still have to work there, and like which are considered essential businesses and like which aren't. And I guess that would have to be done pretty quickly because the 2-week mark from our governor would be up by April 7th. But yeah, doing something kind of like that, and why some are open and why some aren't. And yeah.
Perfect. I love it. Alexa, I think we need to put you on the minute McGee says graduation's closed and the rest of the semester's closed. So I think you need to be nimble and available to get reaction from whoever you can.
Okay.
And do that story. Get ready for that story because I think it's coming. I think it's coming this week.
Yeah, I think also for that and just like anything on general for us, like on campus, I think I can or anybody to actually get the names, if we can, of everyone that's actually here and possibly where they live so we can like contact them or like their email or something. Because talking to Christine, she asked me if one of my roommates was here and I was like, well, you sent out an email saying like, if you're here, can't you check that? And then she asked me if another person was here and I was like, yeah, they're still here. Like, check the email or something, Christine. But like, I've heard there's 100 of us here, which was a little bit more than I thought. But then I found out there's like 600 of us that are usually here, I guess. I don't know. But I'm interested to see actually how many people and who actually are here. Because like if we need reactions, like the people that are going to react probably the quickest are us here on campus. So
right. Right. So a couple of things with that. You're going to run into FERPA. So
Yeah.
Christine, if she's asking you who's here, she obviously, and here's the thing, she's keeping good track, but also I think she's reaching out to you, knowing, who's actually here and who's not. Social distancing is making her job extremely difficult. Other than having the RAs or whomever knock on each door or chat, but 6 feet away. I mean, I can't even imagine that. So I don't think if we were to request who's still here, we wouldn't get that anyway. But crowdsourcing is going to be our best bet. So our social media platforms, hey everyone, if you're still on campus, check in, let us know. What does your workspace look like? Or, we can find out that information in a very social, user-generated gathering way. We won't have a complete or a probably accurate list, but I think through social media, we can do this. Now, we can do a Twitter chat. We can promote it, advertise it. That would be Cassie's job, but then to have everyone participate. We could do a QUTV Google Meet. Check in with your friends. Join us, Friday at 4:00. I mean, there are things, you guys, you take control of this. What would you want? And then we can make it happen. You can make it happen, right? I will support you and help you in any way we can do this. But so that's just a simple question. Taylor's like, hey, I want to know who's here. Okay. How can we do that?
I'm going to put it on my action.
Let's hold. What do you guys, so let's hold, I know. Let's do like a Google Meet Hawk Wild.
Oh yeah, I bet you that's not going to happen anymore, obviously.
It can't, right? What'd you say? I missed it.
I said Google Meet keg races.
Hey, I'm honestly so upset that's not. I said, you know what? If they cancel for the rest of the semester, that better be our last shebang, and it better happen. I know that the whole social distancing, but like that sucks.
I know, you guys. I know it really does suck. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But blow your head open and how can we do things in this new space and time that can alleviate? I bet everyone on campus would love to have a virtual, I don't know, keg race or Hawk Wild or whatever, right?
It's so dead, you guys. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe you said
my window.
Like, there's no way there's 100 students, I feel like.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what she told me. I was like, how many people actually are here? She goes, about 100. And I go,
There's you and like 10 other people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, whatever. I don't know. And then it's weird that the HFC is only open for us from 12 to 4, and Dylan's running the front desk or whatever. I don't know. And like, we can't really do anything.
But I'm surprised you can still even get in there. Although the governor, the governor said still exercise. Is that right?
Yeah.
Have you been do you guys walk around campus, like the perimeter?
I was thinking about doing it today, honestly.
Just to get out and do something.
Yes, because I can't stay in here too much longer. It's
like, one of our emails, Christine was like, feel free to still throw a frisbee around Friars Field. Or like I guess they want us to be outside, but like it's just, I don't know, it's not the right weather, and then there's like nobody here.
Right. And I've been here since our first week of spring break. So I'm like going insane over here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope that this has expanded your ideas of how the heck are we going to continue. I think you guys, especially you 5, are the most important students right now to help with getting people who feel lost and alone, getting them connected. So your job now is, through the work that you've done for the past 2, 3, 4 years, you now can connect students. You can give them context. You can give them correct information because you know how to do that. And we can bring the campus together virtually. You know, I think Michaela's in South Africa, Chloe's going to Australia, but we can gather everyone in a virtual space so that they can still stay connected. This opportunity is huge, and you guys are the leaders. You truly, truly are. And I couldn't be prouder, and I couldn't be more satisfied that the right people are in the right positions. So I'm just excited to see what you guys do, and I will help you in any possible way. I don't know what else. Get creative. Get kind of keep working on content.
Wait, and with our stories, we also have to write something with it, right? Or is it just like the video?
So now you have to kind of match the content with the distribution platform a little bit. Everything you do can go on to WordPress because everything has a quote or information.
Oh, okay.
So I think your first thought is, I've got to put this on WordPress. If you just have that clip from LaHood, right, and let's just say your census story, and you get a picture of him and we can embed the audio over his picture, that can also go on WordPress. Once everything's on WordPress, and it's ours, and we own it because that's our site and we pay for it, then we share it out to social media for content. For engagement, we can do a lot on social media, like polls and putting up a picture of your workspace and saying, show us your workspace. So I did that this morning on Slack. And here, I'll show you. I even had that in your PowerPoint as well. So you can see that, right?
I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Now you can. You see that?
It's not showing anything.
No.
Nope.
What? It says I'm presenting.
Yeah, but nothing's
Mm-mm.
like it's presenting, but that's it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I just had to technology. I just had to click it on and off a couple times. So this was my assignment, right? That's my workspace. There's my coffee, my light, my window, my cactus, right? So this was actually a fun little thing because I just added the Com 396 to Slack, and I wanted them to actually post something. But this could be a great, Instagram or hashtag show us your workspace or something. So I'm realizing we probably need, let's share a Excel spreadsheet. Would that be a good way to keep track of what you're working on and what you're doing with it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it would basically be a virtual, the whiteboard in QUTV. I'll just make a spreadsheet with your name, and then it'll be like, what are you doing for QUmedia.net? What are you doing for Facebook? What are you doing? And so you just get in there, fill it out, and we'll kind of go from there. What do you think?
Like that. Assignment back to today. Post. Wait, are we actually doing that?
Yeah, do it. Why not?
Oh. Okay. Wait, where are we posting?
Yeah, is it in Slack?
So QUTV is our channel, right?
Okay.
So
yeah, I didn't see that.
it's taking a while. That's for sure. Maybe my computer's trying to do too much. I don't know. Okay, So I think with this group especially, communication is key no matter what, but constant communication is key. And I think as the leaders of student media, use the hashtag QUTV channel and over communicate with each other. When a different class has content to contribute, I will let you know. And I'll also control that, they're not working on stuff you're working on. But also we need to get going. So Alexa, since you are standing by waiting for the decree from Dr. McGee that we are online for the rest of the semester, why don't you go ahead and create a post that summarizes his emails and summarizes what he's already put out there. It can be bullet points. It can be, links to his past emails, and at least get that started so that we have a place to put, when it comes down, we have a place to put it.
Okay.
And you guys, I don't know anything. So I'm just assuming. Maybe, who knows?
I have a question for you. Do you find out the same time we do, or do they let faculty and staff know at the same, before us?
So the only communication I've really had is those Dr. McGee emails.
Okay.
So I'm assuming I'm getting them at the same time you are, like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just curious if he let the faculty know before they let the students know. Gotcha. Okay.
And we didn't get, you guys got the survey of when you would want graduation, and we didn't have any of that. And when I think someone sent out a Google form, what books do you need online? We didn't see that. The only way I learned about them was from the class this morning. Because I said, okay, if you need a book, let me know. And they're like, oh, we filled out a form. And I'm like,
thanks for
administration is so difficult. But you guys, as you go out into the world, when you have, the more information you can disseminate that is true, the better the situation. Because right now they're communicating to faculty, they're communicating to students, they're communicating to seniors. If everyone had the same information, the anxiety would be so reduced. And it's really difficult to watch that process where there's so much uncertainty, and there doesn't need to be uncertainty. But I guess the administration should take Dr. Linda Moore's crisis communication course. I don't know. Okay. Do you feel good about moving forward?
Mm-hmm.
Just if we see it, just get it out there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, news is still news as well. So if a fire truck shows up to a dorm, go take video of it. Or if you see something that's important or that needs to be shared, make sure it's true. Number one, there's a lot of misinformation out there right now, as you guys are probably consuming. 5G does not cause the coronavirus.
I was just talking to Victor about that last night? We were talking about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quincy texted me as soon as Max Bennett put that in the group chat. I was like, what is happening? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening anymore.
What's happening?
I know, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, well, what's your source? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. But now, Grant, I got to tell you, Max never had a class from me. So he was, I think he was business. Like, he never had one of my classes. He just was a really good helper with GLVC. So we put him in there so that he could say if he was going to call a game. So, and tell Quincy that she's still on Slack, by the way. I have an alumni channel, and I keep kind of pinging it out there, but I think everyone's turned it off. So when you graduate, stay on Slack because I'll put you in an alumni channel. It'll be fun. All right. Okay. So I think we have a good plan. I am going to, as soon as I get off here, I'm going to create our virtual assignment board and check it often, check in with each other often. And I guess my recording is going to be, I don't know if it shows me the whole time. Sorry about that. Take care of yourselves, keep in touch, and let's meet again on Wednesday. You want to?
At the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Work for everybody?
Works.
Okay. All right. Wash your hands.
Your Emmy. It looks fabulous. I just keep like looking at it.
I know. That's so shameless plug, blatant, obvious, put it right there. I was like, what do I need in the background?
I'm gonna put Miami.
Well, part of it too is I've been on a lot of webinars this week, and a lot of people, and I'm looking at all their backgrounds, and I'm like, I'm putting mine up there.
I'm gonna one up everybody and put Miami behind me.
I know. I have no shame.
Oh, let's go.
Okay, thanks, Nora.
Okay, thanks guys. We'll talk soon. Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
Take care.
Alrighty. Bye.